Lord, I must bless you. Gracious Heavenly Father. We call this Saturday morning. We give thanks. We give thanks for life, love, opportunity to gather as we gather here today. Thank you for the season that you have brought. And even though we are concerned about the other areas that may not have been questions we have, the decisions that I have what to do. We give you thanks for life and all that life has to offer. This morning, Lord, come to you and we ask that you continue to bless this nation, the state, and this county. And that those that are running for the different offices and different levels, you've given us a place to live that we can get up, anything with thoughts, and we can do the kind of things that we think is best for most of us. We thank you for the candidates that work so hard and do so much, yet sometimes feel so lonely. We don't do anything for us. Be with them. Give them that little burst of energy and enthusiasm and interest to help them to drive on, to drive hard, to have the courage of their convictions, and the energy and wisdom and carry them out. We pray for all of our candidates. Ask that you be with each one. Help them shape their thoughts, their minds, and their plans. These kinds of things that will be pleasing in thy sight. At the same time, here on earth, kinds of things that will be helpful to make our country, our nation, our state, our county, strengthen it. Kinds of things that will bear fruit, very kind of fruit, that will be beneficial to all. You will always support that family. You give us that little bit of energy, enthusiasm to stand up and be accountable. And yes, do a little work too. Help all of them that they may carry out our wishes and our thoughts and work together for a better America, a better North Carolina, a better Sampson. These things we ask in our holy name.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Daniel Ruggles is very active in our Young Republicans, and he's, matter of fact, with the state Republicans, Young Republicans, he's the man of the year. I'm going to call on him to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice for all. Thank you. Take a minute to recognize a couple of folks we have with us today. Of course, our candidate, David Rouzer, who you'll get to hear from in a few minutes. Of course, we have Senator Brent Jackson, who represents Sampson and Duplin and part of Lenore, and that district is getting ready to change a little bit. He's going to be Duplin, Sampson, and part of Johnson, I believe. Glad to have him. Of course, we've met Jefferson Strickland, the county commissioner. Judge Jackie Lee, thank you. Glad to have you down here. That's everyone. We do have a candidate for Register D, Sharon Carter, with us. Sharon. This time I'd like to ask Danny Jackson, who is the campaign coordinator for David here in the county, to make any comments he'd like to make.
We're working hard. We won in the primary, but we want to win bigger this time, if we can. We'll be putting up our signs right after Labor Day. And we have signs, if you want to just take them with you. But a quick reminder, don't put them on the DOT right away, because they can't take them with us. Unless you get by with it in the primary, but in the general election, they usually sort of clamp down a little bit. So if you want the sign, you can be taking up through on the state highway. So try to keep them off the yard or across the ditch, and because the signs are pretty expensive, and we don't want to take them to the landfill. And if there's anything or any meetings that I can get paid to, you just contact me or contact Dodie, and we'll see what we can do to hustle them up there. Tell a friend to vote Raleigh.
Tell the EOC, if they take too many up, we'll take their money. It's amazing how that works. Okay. I figured, I just kind of naturally figured it was my time, Curtis. I just got up, sorry. That's all right. But it's all your time. No, yeah, right ahead. Oh, are you going to do this?
Oh, I'm going to introduce you.
Well, all right, well, you go right ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, Senator David Raleigh.
No, I was just hungry. I was trying to speed things up so we can get to the food. But I appreciate all of Daddy, is that your phone?
The new one, a better bow and long bow.
I appreciate all of you coming out, and I'm going to be fairly brief. I'm going to hit the major points and then open it up for any questions that you may have. Bottom line, and I think all of you feel it instinctively, this election in November is really probably the most critical election in our lifetimes. Certainly it is in mine. We have a real choice in this country at this point. We can either continue this path of more and more spending and more debt and relegate our children and our children's children to a future that is unlike anything that we have experienced in this country, or we can reverse course and get back to the principles of free enterprise and limited government and start requiring that our government live within its means so that we can have a future and an opportunity in this country. We have a $16 trillion debt. Interest rates right now are as low as they're probably ever going to be. Just think when they go up, that $16 trillion is going to be $34 trillion. It's going to be, or $32 trillion. It's going to be at $64 trillion. And that multiplier effect. We're really at a critical point here. And the point of the matter is, if we don't reverse course very quickly, we can speed right off that cliff before we even know we're off the cliff. That's why this election is so critically important. Now, this race for Congress is a key race. This is going to be a top 5, top 3 national race. You're going to see a lot of money spent in this race. As I tell my grandmother, you're going to see a lot of ads on TV that you're not going to like. But we're used to that. That's part of politics. There's going to be a lot of money spent from a lot of different folks, both in the Wilmington media market and also in the Raleigh media market. Eric Cantor, Majority Leader of the House, his super PAC is coming in for me and spending about $500,000 in the Raleigh TV media market, which we're very, very grateful for. That's going to help me make sure that we hold this end of the district strong. My focus is on Wilmington and the Wilmington media market. And because if we can come close there, we got this thing. And so I'm spending a lot of time down there in New Hanover County and Brunswick County. In fact, when I leave here today, I'm headed to Brunswick County. This race is more important than a lot of people realize, because in other states, we're going to be losing seats. We have an opportunity in North Carolina to pick up 4 Republican seats. You've got 3, 1 out in the west. You've got Larry Crystal's district. You've got Brad Miller's district, which George Holding will take, and then you have this one. We're going to lose seats in Illinois, California, and other states. So this race really comes down to the question of, do you want John Boehner as Speaker of the House of Representatives, or do you want Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House of Representatives? My opponent, Mike McIntyre, voted 4 straight times for Nancy Pelosi to be Speaker, and while she was Speaker, he voted more than 90% of the time with her. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I've been on the campaign trail a good little bit, and I hear a lot about how conservative Mike McIntyre is. Voting 90% of the time with Nancy Pelosi is not that conservative. And here's another key fact. The labor unions, from what I understand, are probably forming a super PAC to come in and go after me in this election. Labor unions do not support conservative candidates.
So the fact of the matter is, a vote for Mike McIntyre is a vote for Nancy Pelosi. And I will be very candid and confess to